In this video, I'm going to be talking about what is the first step in developing a marketing strategy. Hey, it's Tobey from Training Business Pros. The first thing that we do with all of our agency clients is essentially the same thing. And you're going to want to know what that is because most companies do not do this. And if you're not doing this, then you're really missing an opportunity to zero in on your entire marketing plan, because step one is definitely the most important part, and we're going to get to it right now. Okay, the first step to developing a marketing strategy for your company is to discover what we call your inside advantage. Now, you're going to want to stick around to the end because you're going to want to hear all four parts of this plan. Now, it is the first step in developing your marketing strategy, and you really can't go anywhere else strategically and efficiently until you learn these four things. This information I've been using for many years with my agency clients, and it's definitely important for me to do this because I need to know who I'm marketing to and what I'm marketing for. In other words, what does the company do that is different in the marketplace? And we're going to talk about these four strategies starting right now. So the first step is you need to know who is your high priority targeted customer and what are they actually seeking from a company like yours. So part of this is developing what we call a 10 to 12 word who statement. That's a statement that essentially says, here is a description of our target customer. And what I mean by that is high priority people or companies that are interested in what you have. High priority meaning these are people that are most likely to be interested in our products and services. So the 10 to 12 word statement is essentially, here's a short description of them and what are they looking for from a company like ours. Not necessarily here's what we do, but what do they want from companies like ours? And that's an important statement. There are several steps in putting that statement together. I've been helping companies do this for many years, and I can tell you it takes a couple of days to kind of zero in on all of these things. So this just being the first one, it's like, who are we after and what are they looking for from companies like ours? All right, let's move on to the second part of the Inside Advantage process, and that is the what statement. So just like who, you need to come up with a 10 to 12 word what statement that says, what do we do that is different and uncommon in the marketplace? So a lot of companies think that they have to portray themselves as being better. But the problem with that is better is very subjective. What is better for one person is very different for another person. Therefore, it's more strategic to talk about what is different about you. For example, I like to make the example of the company Jägermeister. Yes, it's an alcohol. They really only have one SKU. They make Jaeger. And it is a very profitable company based on the fact that they built an entire culture that's different around that particular alcohol, which frankly, some people like and many people don't. That's what I mean by it doesn't matter who's better. It matters who's different. And so there will always be high priority targeted customers that are seeking that difference. So you need to determine what that is. So the what statement, like I say, 10 to 12 words that say, well, here's why we're different or uncommon in the marketplace. So let's just give you a couple of examples of the who and the what statements, because I think this is important. So a who statement, for example, for a company like ours, who are the high priority targeted customers that we're looking for? So 10 to 12 words. An established business seeking proven digital marketing strategies. Once again, an established business seeking proven digital marketing strategies. So established meaning they've been around for a while. They're not a startup. They know themselves, but they don't necessarily know how to market a new product or a new service or whatever it is they're looking for. That's who I'm looking for as a customer. They're looking for a company that does proven digital marketing strategies and results. Okay, so the what statement is an executive level digital marketing agency with a proven track record of results. Okay, so that means that executive level, meaning we're dealing with the leaders of the company and we're providing a proven track record of results. Now, of course, that might not be truly uncommon in the marketplace, but I can tell you it does attract people from an interest standpoint, because the word proven is not necessarily a word that's used a lot in digital marketing strategies. People often talk about what they're doing, but they don't necessarily provide strategic results or metrics or KPIs associated with those results. So there's a couple of examples of a who and a what statement. Let's move on to number 3, and that is how. We need to know how we're marketing our what to our who. In other words, how do we go about taking what we do as our inside advantage and uncommon offering to the people that are seeking resources and companies like ours? So you need to look at all of the different marketing strategies available to you, and you have to start applying the words and hypnotic language to attract that audience. In other words, if we're looking at a website, for example, what is the language that we use to attract our target market to our company who is willing to serve on that level, who can provide that uncommon offering in that area that they're looking for? So, and a website is just one example. You might talk about this in your social media. You might look at it as a video strategy. So take a look at all of the areas of your business that you can apply this strategy to. It's like, how do we market to that audience with what we do in this particular space? And that's truly an important step in developing your marketing strategy. Take a look at the areas that are available to you and start to zero in and focus on the ones that not only have your target market customers, but also they're at the level that they can understand what's different about us, that they can perceive that difference and then reach out and connect with us. Okay, let's move on to the last one, which is number 4. And this is my favorite part of it. This is called the Own It section. And in the Own It part, you want to create what we call a series of imaginative events. Now, that means that if you're looking at all of the different things from number 3, what can we do in those spaces that's imaginative? And that could be things like our design. It could be the hypnotic language that we're choosing, but it can also be events themselves, such as we can host a trade show, or we can do something with an orchestra and sponsor something. So what I'm saying to you is take a look at all of the potential that your company has to market, and whatever you're choosing, make that part as imaginative as you can. And it's not always an easy thing to do that. That's kind of why people hire me. They're basically looking for, like I say, an executive level consultant who understands from experience how to transform the language and the events to attract that target audience. For example, if you're going into a trade show, how do you make your offering inventive and imaginative? For example, I remember one year going to Icon and spending $25,000 on a booth and literally getting nowhere. The next year we go back, spend $3,000 to host a private party, start what we call ICANN Jam, which was a jam session for musicians in the middle of this digital marketing conference. And we cleaned up. We literally took, I don't know how many conversations out of that and created business and customers that we still have today. We also had, by the way, a Canadian Mountie, the only Mountie at the entire event, who's walking around with private invitations. And there was a whole bunch of strategy behind that. But that's the difference between doing what everybody else is doing and having a trade show booth and actually hosting an event and putting a Mountie on site. It's imaginative. So that's what I want you to start thinking about. So let's do a quick review. Who is our high priority targeted audience and what do they want? What do we do that is different and uncommon in the marketplace? How do we sell our what to our who? And finally, own it, a series of imaginative events. This is how you go about creating a marketing strategy from the very beginning. I hope this was helpful to you. If you're interested in some of the other digital marketing strategies that we talk about for our companies, you can check out some of the other videos on this channel. So please go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for your time.